Welcome to the show. You're watching Let's Talk right here on Ebru TV. And let me tell you, it is going to be an amazing show because it is Wellness Wednesday. And we are really trying to enrich your soul, your mind, your body, your spirit. It's so much more out here than pretending to look good on social media. But you actually have to go ahead and take care of your spirit, take care of your soul, take care of your wellness. That's why for today, we're going to be talking about trauma bonds and how to break those trauma bonds. And I know you're wondering, what exactly is trauma bonds? What does that mean? But basically, we're going to get right into it. We're going to let you know some of those situations, and maybe you might find out that you have actually been in a situation where you've gone through some trauma and it has created a toxic bond in all of your following relationships. So make sure you go ahead and interact with us on our social media, Ebru TV Kenya, everywhere except for Facebook, which is Ebru TV KE. And you can still hit us up on our WhatsApp number 0770-726-366. I am so excited for the show. I feel rejuvenated after, going to Shago. Actually, if you follow me on my Instagram, hey, you know how I have been worked to death by my mother in Shags. And after smelling that fresh air and everything, I've come back to this cold of Nairobi and I'm not happy. Let me just tell you, I am not happy.
I am telling you, she has been enjoying herself, chapai, what do you call them? Banana leaves and trying to sift through maize and get that unga. You know that rich unga that you get when you sift, it's not the same as what you get here when it's packed. But anyway, as she was enjoying her life, living La Vida Loca, enjoying the fresh air of the Western Vihiga County, I was dying. A girl was dying in Nairobi. Okay, let me explain what happened. So, on Sunday, I was just chilling in the house. I had no plans of leaving. I had no intentions of leaving my couch the whole day. And then I get a call. Hey, do you want to get the coronavirus vaccine? I'm like, well, yeah, sure, because I didn't think it was immediate. Next thing I hear, I'm coming to pick you up. Katomi has gone to get a vaccine. She has not done research. She doesn't know the side effects. I know nothing. All I know is I'm going to be protected from corona. And so I went directly and got myself a shot. And let me tell you, Maina, the pain I have on this arm right now, 3 days later, is it 3 or 4? It's so painful. Like, honestly, I couldn't sleep on this hand. I couldn't, the way even mistakenly, you just like, no. That was not happening for me. There's so much pain on my arm. I had so much pain, honestly, back, my head, my whole body, and I was exhausted from here to Kingdom Come. I don't even honestly know how I am talking to you right now. Most of the time, I keep finding myself talking and I'm like, okay, what did I just say? That is the kind of reality I've been living for the past couple of days. But either way, I am happy that I got the first shot. I'm going to be getting the next one in a couple of weeks. So I'll be corona-free from all of you who are trying to reinfect us by going to Vihiga County and not even protecting themselves the whole time. Excuse me? Anyway, yeah, so that is my story for how my week and my weekend has been. Yeah.
I was invited to a very important function on Sunday. I feel important.
Yes.
I dressed like a wife.
Yes.
My long my long black dress, inafuka kwa magoti. It was very decent, no cleavage, and you know what? Because it was a gospel function. You invite me to these other functions and you will see. But you know what? I'm not happy today because I don't know what is going on in our society, because there are 2 cases where boys actually murdered their fathers. One was because babake alichinja kuku yake. The other one was because the father asked him about his education. Akamchapa kamuua. We still had another case where a Form 3 student was sent home because of school fees, and he came back later with kiboko hivi akachapa headmaster kwa kichwa, injuring him. And also, the latest news is very sad. We have a doctor who committed suicide inside her car outside the hospital. Wow. So I really don't know what's going on. That's why you should never miss this episode every Wednesday where we talk about wellness, overall wellness. But anyway, the show is amazing. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. My name is Lily Asigu.
Yes.
Speaking about things we need to be looking out for, we've spoken about cyberbullying for such a long time, and I'm so happy to announce that someone was actually caught Chrissy Teigen has had to actually take back all of her words when it comes to cyberbullying. And if you do not know this story, we will tell you a bit more about it later on. But right now, let's get into Hot Talk. We are going to be talking about Bridget Achieng and the people who betrayed her and other people's opinions around the internet. We're going to be talking about Bahati, who has been cancelled by the KFCB, and how that story is going on. And then we will be talking about the conflict of the truth by Elodie Zone. So let's get right into it. It's time for Hot Talk. Now, when it comes to content and the kind of information that you want to keep outside in the world, you always like to look, you know, your best self. You know, you want to look like you are living your best life, you are living in your best self. But sometimes that's not often the case for most people. And sometimes this information that is such a huge problem for you and it causes such insecurities and trauma for you is unleashed into the world. And unfortunately, once one person has it and it is scandalous, trust me, the whole of Nairobi shall have it by the end of that day. And that is exactly what happened to Bridget Achieng. If you do not know Bridget Achieng, she's an entrepreneur and a very huge vocal speaker when it comes to people who've come from nothing to something. She came from Kibera, which is where she lived, and then she fought her way up, climbed up the ladder, and now she's living large, chopping money, chopping life, and eating it with a big spoon. Now, unfortunately, she had traveled to Nigeria, and when she was doing her thing, changing, trying to get dressed, someone, apparently one of the people that she was within that particular room, was recording her and recording her body when she was absolutely naked. And unfortunately, or honestly, this is unfortunate. And 100% unfortunately, this video was then sent to one person and then sent to another person, and now almost all of us have seen it. I hadn't seen it up until like a couple of minutes ago, to be all the way honest. And I really do understand why you would be very, very, first of all, I would be very offended that someone in my circle has the audacity to have that boldness of taking that video, recording it, and then sending it out. You have the privilege of being my friend, being in my circle, being someone that I trust, being someone who I call a friend, and you betray me to such an extreme. That for me is just 100% vile, uncomfortable, and very painful. She went on to start talking about the people who are circulating the video, and these are popular bloggers that we know of, bloggers that we follow, and some of these videos we actually saw them on that particular blog. And she was very, you could tell she was hurt. She felt very betrayed, and she went on to say that she is feeling absolutely horrible. She's been getting threats and blackmail from all kinds of people, all corners of the world. And Akode, the mother, the single women fighter, came through and decided to be vocal about it. And let's not even forget, she was actually very vocal about and sympathetic about another woman who was going through a very difficult time. We all know of the story we've been talking about from, I don't even know when. We've been talking about the story for far too long. But anyway, Akode came up and said these particular words. According to Akode, she says, "By the way, I am very sad about how women handle their fellow women. I don't trust any woman around me with her phone in her hands." She continues to say that, by the way, she was in a room with another woman. I will just paraphrase. She was in a room with another woman, and then suddenly the flash on the other person's phone went off. And then she started pretending like something was like, oh, she was doing other things, blah, blah, blah. And this is the kind of betrayal that we're talking about. Like, you're with someone in a room and they have the audacity to start recording you. So it's difficult if you can't trust the women around you, if you cannot trust people that you call your friends, people that you are in business with, who can you trust? That is the question that I have today. Who can we trust as women? You're being betrayed by men. Men are cheating on us. No offense. Men are cheating on us, doing all this nonsense, getting second wives, and now we come back home, and the people that we call our friends, people we go to cry to, are recording videos of us and sending them out into the world to get us in trouble and to make us look bad. Like, what do you have to say about this?
Let me tell you, this world, you cannot trust anybody. Really? Nobody can be trusted. And the sad part is, this is her friend, clearly. They were in a room, and it's a female friend. This is not some man over here who was just like, she ended up to be changing. She was literally changing her clothes and everything. This is a female friend that was there busy recording her and then circulating the information out there. And let me tell you, that's why you have to be extremely careful about who you call your friends. And even those just want that you call your friends what you do around them, okay? Because the fact that people are willing to take you down, not everybody that's around you is there for you during the positive things in your life and there to bring you up. Some people are just there secretly around you wanting to bring you down, whether it's because of jealousy, whether it's just because of pure malice and they're just evil people, but people have different reasons for being around you all the time. And let me tell you, I think this is a big warning for us as females, especially, who we let to be around us. There is no reason now. I love you, Katomi, and I know us for a client, we're tight like this. Me in that changing room upstairs over there when we're doing our makeup, those curtains are covered over there. I am changing my clothes, fully covered. We're not best friends over here. Now you can just be there changing.
I am changing from the car.
We are changing from wherever you need to do. You need to hide yourself, and even conversations and everything. Because sometimes you'll be talking to your friend about really sensitive topics, and people are recording this. And these are the same people who will be there going to certain blogs and everything and giving out this information. So that one I feel sad for about this friend, and she needs to go ahead and report this friend because I'm sure she knows who this is. But the other thing that I also have is like for us media outlets and everything, and especially when you're doing gossip and entertainment news, we have to have a certain level of ethics. You know what I mean? Well, there's a certain level of responsibility where if this information comes to me, you can tell clearly she was changing, she didn't know this video was being recorded, then there's no need for me to go ahead and post it on my platform. Even though this is what I do in terms of news, they should have now taken this opportunity for whoever sent this video to report them. Even if you're not the one who recorded it, let's say you recorded it and then you sent it to me, and then me, I go and send it to Lily. Lily should report me, and I should get in trouble for even circulating the information. You know what I mean? We have to have a certain level of ethics and everything, because this is not information that she wanted to be brought out there. Like I honestly hope that she's able to find justice, because I feel so sorry for her.
Public humiliation has become prevalent between couples and friends. We've seen this before, where anything happens between you, mkikosana kidogo, you go public with information. But I want to say the people who do this, someone who humiliates you in public is someone who has a low self-esteem, and they just feel good when they embarrass you in front of people. They just feel good. I can't explain it. It's like a drug. And to be honest, this is so bad. How can friends be so callous as to embarrass you in front of millions of people? When you take your phone and start recording, what's your plan, by the way? Why are you recording me? Why? Even when I'm doing my makeup, why are you recording me? Exactly. If I didn't contract you, people should start reporting these guys to the police. Let's have someone, munyatashikwa afungwe, a lead by example to other people, It's so sad. Anyway. Moving on to Ezekiel Mutua and Kenya Film Classification Board. I'm so happy that I was invited to Bahati's album launch on Sunday, because let me tell you this story first before I get into what Ezekiel Mutua did. Before Bahati started playing his songs, he said that the first song is a gospel song. And before playing the gospel song, he showed us behind the scenes of the video, Fikra Zabahati. So he posted a video where he was like, he looked like he was smoking a cigar. But when you watch the behind the scenes, he did not actually smoke that cigar. Maybe secondary, because ninikishaenda kwa hewa, the moshi, obviously ata inhale kidogo too. But he was like, he didn't even know how to hold the cigar to begin with. Alikuwa tu anambo, vuta hivi kidogo, usimeze, and then toa. Okay? That's what he did, akatoa. So if you feel like Ali smoke, that's on you. But me, what I saw was someone being directed afanye hivyo. And we're in the entertainment industry, I'm telling you. If you understand the entertainment industry, you would understand where everyone is coming from in the entertainment industry, whether gospel, whether secular, and all. And the first song on his album, ni gospel song. And he told us, but then mambo nitoe song, but nikadecide hapana. So you can feel that Bahati is born again. He is still born again. Just because nimekunywa hii maji na ni ayuma and I'm a Christian, it doesn't mean that sasa nimeacha kuwa Christian, but you could feel it. And the song is so nice. The words and the message is just amazing. By the way, I feel as if nimefeel the Holy Spirit. And then listening to the other songs, zilikuwa about love. What is wrong about singing mambo za mapenzi? The Bible, iko na forgiving people, iko na watu walipanishiwa, iko na Songs of Solomon describing a woman's body. So what is wrong with a gospel artist appreciating a woman singing love songs, you know?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to flip my hair.
Hey!
So, back to the story. Now, according to Ezekiel Mutua, he felt like Bahati violated their clean content and partnership policy by releasing a song, Akitukana Watu. And like, for me, I felt it was just entertainment. Lakini, contracts were signed. So last minute, Ezekiel Mutua and his team pulled out. They were to give him 200,000 shillings plus other support here and there, but they just pulled out. Wakasema, sisi tumejidistance from hii yote. Easy clean content anymore, so sisi hatutampatia hiyo support. But Eric Omondi came through. Aka splash that money. Akawambia, bro, we're in the entertainment industry. Come here, I will support you and I will help you. These other guys, they will never come through for you. We also have another politician who also came through. But for me, I'm just like, if you're a Christian, why are you judging Bahati? It means you're also a sinner by judging. And the Bible is very clear. Forgive, do this, do that. Ata Moses and all other people who are called in the Bible, walikuwa na shortcomings zao. They were not perfect. So this is just someone who has 4 children. Raising 4 children is not a joke. You have to feed them, uwavalishe, and everything else, responsibility ni mingi. You have a wife, you know. And when was the last time you saw a gospel artist performing? It may take time. So for me, I'll take it as this is an entertainment industry. Bahati was entertaining us, but deep inside, he's born again.
You know, I'm not sure about the born again and the not born again, because I'm just going off the information that he's no longer in the gospel industry, which is okay. You can still be a Christian and do secular music. I think I've sang this song a million times. You can still be a Christian and smoke a cigar. You can still be a Christian and drink some alcohol. You can still be a Christian and do whatever is about your heart and your actions. My only situation that I'm here wondering, like, what's going on with KFCB is, why did they have to retract the money when honestly there was nothing that was so bad about this song? You know what I mean? I think when it comes to working with certain entities, it's a very tricky slope. They're good with you and they can be friends with you until you shine a light on them. And when they can see that this might turn negatively towards them, then that's when they decide that they're not going to be able to give their support to you. So I'm glad in a way that this was able to happen right now, so he doesn't feel as if now he's tied to them. He's taking their 200,000, and then now when they start saying so we want you to do a video for this, and we want you to do a song about this, and we want you to do a song praising KFCB, and we want you to do a song praising Zico Mutua, do a song about how I'm so amazing and everything. You feel as if now you've been bought after you've taken the money. So maybe it's good that this didn't happen at all, and he's able to now work with people who love and support him for what he's able to do.
I absolutely agree with both of you guys. Look, regardless of what is deep inside your heart, sometimes what is apparent is what is apparent. And the truth of the matter is, okay, in all honesty, Bahati does a lot when it comes to publicity for his music. We talked about this last week when they were doing that, when they were having that conversation with Nadia Mukami, and we speculated that there's a song coming. And true to the fact, a song did come out during this whole launch. And he's gone all out. I mean, for you to be able to put up a whole, advertisement on the New York's, the street walks and everything. Hey, bruh.
Times
He
Square.
has worked his butt off. He has put himself everywhere, made as much noise for himself as possible, and this is what people need to be doing. When it comes to publicity, do what you can for your music, but also make sure that your music is good. So let's make those two things work together. If you're doing good music and you're doing amazing publicity, then you're doing the best that you can do. We don't have to be vulgar and all of that. It's a bit crass in general, but at the same time, I feel like in this case, it was unwarranted because it's a good song and he's just doing what everyone else is doing anyway, because this seems to be the banter about artists right now. So we're trying to block an almost paparazzi like Hollywood is coming to Kenya type vibe, and I don't know why we're doing that. Mr. Ezekiel, can we just? And anyone else who's criticizing him for being a Christian versus, look, it doesn't matter what he is religiously, as long as his content is good, he's entertaining, that's all we want. We want good entertainment, period.
Yes. So 07707273666 is the WhatsApp number.
729.
Oh, sorry, 729-366 is the WhatsApp number. Even if I get it a little bit wrong, luckily the number is always going to be down here. So go ahead and let us know what you think about this whole Bahati situation. And while you're at it, let me know what you think about Miss Elodie. Elodie is having so many issues right now, and I honestly think she needs our love and support, okay? Now, recently, we talked about this last week, where she had made some very serious accusations towards Mviri, talking about mental abuse, physical abuse, and him even leaving her on the side of the road after going to a party, I believe, and then it was after curfew and she was left stranded. And now, because of the whole blow up of that whole situation, she went ahead and kind of retracted her statements and let us know that the reason why she posted that information was because she was under the influence of alcohol, but they're working it out, and she's focusing on her work and her career and her passions and her family and everything else. And that led a lot of the general public to believe that she was lying. And I feel as if literally the whole of the internet, netizens have decided to turn completely against her. And the new narrative being brought out is that she lied about the accusations that she'd made towards Viri, the storyteller, and that basically she lied because she was under the influence of alcohol. So she went ahead and set the record straight and made sure that she was able to talk about this whole situation, where she said, apologies not for the truth I spoke, but for the fact that I went public and it was misinterpreted by a nation I call home. I made my second post because going public under the influence of a few drinks was wrong. I should have done it in a sober mindset because it's something real to me as women and men. I don't know what the media site made it seem like I lied about anything, but that's far from the truth. The second post was taken so far out of context, I am confused. So basically, she continued to speak about that whole situation, but she let it be known that she did not lie. Because I feel as if after she made that second statement, everyone else decided that what she was saying is that she lied about the whole situation, but she's still sticking to her words. What she had originally said was the truth. It's just that she happened to say it while under the influence of alcohol. And then she continued to tell us some more situation about her fans and the mental health and everything. She has openly spoke about depression and her mental health issues and all the things that she's going through, but it seems as if Kenyans are a little bit confused, and then they think depression and bipolar disorder are one in the same. And there was actually a fan who went ahead and said, I heard you have bipolar disorder, so don't kill your cats. I'm telling you, it was insane what everybody was thinking and everything, but I just feel so sorry for her. I think she needs our love and support. We're going to try to divulge this information a little bit, let it marinate and everything. Think about what I just told you. We're going to go on a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll discuss this whole LED situation, and we have so much more right here on Let's Talk. And we're back. I hope you are sending in your messages on our WhatsApp number 0770-729-366 about Elodie's situation. And basically, she was really angered by the fact that people are confused between bipolar disorder and depression, and accusing her of killing her cats because she has bipolar disorder, which is not even something that people with bipolar disorder would do. And there's such big stigma when it comes to mental health and all of these issues and everything. And I feel as if when it comes to all the stuff that she's gone ahead and spoken about, we have to dissect it in two ways. First, there's her mental health and everything. Honestly, don't speak about what you don't know. That's just my only thing. Whether it's bipolar, whether it's depression, whether it's schizophrenia, with any type of mental health issues, don't speak about something that you don't know. And if you don't know, just go ahead and research. There's so much information you can find online from credible sources. Make sure you're going to, like, actual health sites and doctors and everything. And then we should be sympathizing with people who are going through certain situations, not telling them negative things. Now, if you say that you don't go kill your cats, how is that helping somebody? Instead of saying that, see, I'm praying for you, or here's some things to help you, or motivational things, you're saying don't go kill your cats. I don't understand that. But when it comes to her going ahead and confirming that her original allegations against Viri were the truth, and now us, we've gone ahead and twisted it, I am left confused. I am left like I don't know what to think and what to do, because these are very serious allegations. And I think, honestly, when it comes to this whole situation, Viri needs to come out and really just speak about it, because that statement that they released as Soul Generation is not enough. This is something that can really damage someone's career, someone's life, if it ends up being that she's telling the truth. And when it comes to this situation, I need more clarity before I can make a concrete decision and their conclusion.
Okay, regardless of what's actually happening on the ground, because now it's like a he said, she said situation. If we're being all the way honest, I want to be the first. Let me be the first, because we have seen so many people being called out on being cyberbullies, on being bullies in general. And sometimes we say things and we spew slurry notions and sentiments that really do not relate to what the person is going through, and we make speculations based off of information that we have at that point in time. So let me be the first person to say this. I am very apologetic, Elodie, for saying that you were chasing clout. Honestly, I really don't know what your situation is, and I feel like it's important for, you know, people to be held accountable, and I am holding myself at a pedestal, which is stating that I am not better than anyone else. No, 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 that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I said something that was misconstrued based off of the information that I had at that point in time, which was that maybe you were being YouTube, you know, YouTube couples and doing all of that. But at the same time, I really sympathize with the fact that you're going through so many things. First of all, if at all this is true, you are going through the trauma of recovering from that, and then additionally you have all these trolls and all these people saying things and all these opinions that just consistently are there, and they will continue to be there. So let's be a bit more accountable when it comes to what we're saying. I feel like some of these stories we need to have enough research and come to a point where we actually know what is what before we make speculations, and then we end up just becoming so messy and making this even a bigger mess. Because like imagine she's over there chilling at home, and then she sees like someone saying at you, oh, you don't kill your cats, after she told us that her cat had actually been injured and burnt. You know, she's already recovering from someone having taken her cat and actually done some damage on the cat, having weird neighbors and all of that, and then some random person off the internet is over here saying don't kill your cat. You know, it's very unsympathetic. Let's get serious when it comes to what we're saying about other people in general. So sorry, Elodie, if this is what you're... Sorry for all the things that you're going through with your mental health, and we hope to God that you become better sooner than later.
Yes, I knew something was wrong when they were not like telling us whether they're dating or not. But you know what? That's in the past. Elodie, we are praying for you. We hope that you get better soon. Kindly consult a professional. Hugs and kisses.
Yeah, it's really a difficult situation, and nobody knows what's going on unless you are in the situation. And even as we're judging and everything, let's just be sympathetic towards what everybody is going through.
Yeah.
I can see the messages over here on our WhatsApp number, and I can see Hilda from
Tindigua. You can call it Zedegua.
That's even more of a struggle, but we see you, girl. I can also see Cats from Limuru saying that she saw my struggles in Shags. Thank you. And then saying that today, Bridget's story is so sad. As women, we need to do better. Recording another woman naked and sharing is hitting below the belt. She is a mother and a sister. Hashtag trust nobody.
She's a human being. Let's just be really honest. She's a human being, and we all hurt the same way.
Yeah, I can see someone else saying, seriously, what happened to Bridget is not cool at all. I remember one time my cousin took pictures of me while I was changing, and that hurt me so much. Lily, what does Emmy have to say?
Emmy is saying, I'm not shocked by what Achieng amefanyiwa, because there are even a theme of women as their own enemies. What is that? Can women support and be a sister's keeper for once? I also see someone else saying, I want to say you girls, mnapatikana wapi. Mali safi. Imagine. Bahati too is not a gospel artist anymore. You know, that's his life. Akitaka ko gospel artist or not, it's fine. We'll support him regardless. My name is John from Likoni, Mombasa. Bahati tangaza msimamo usinijaz neno usinajizi neno la Mungu.
Okay. Okay, that was deep. And then I see someone else. Actually, it's the same guy, Nairobi Central man, who is saying, I love the fact that you were positive about Bahati. Yeah, in this day and age where there's so much negativity that is going around, it's important for us to at least show love where we can, right?
Yeah.
And speaking about love, we're about to show you some love with your mental health. It is, of course, hashtag Wellness Wednesday here on Ebru Let's Talk. Do not forget the number is right here. Oh, it's right here. It's 0770 729 366. Don't forget the hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk and hashtag Wellness Wednesday. So I feel like we need to get right into it. Please send us your messages on what you think about trauma and traumatic bonds, the bonds that are formed because of the trauma that we have experienced. Ayuma?
Definitely, it's time for Wellness Wednesday. Today we are talking about traumatic bonds, and I know some of you are wondering what exactly is a traumatic bond, and it basically are emotional bonds with an individual that arise from recurring clinical pattern of abuse perpetuated by intermittent reinforcement through rewards and punishment. So basically you are constantly going through abuse, and then during that abuse there's a cycle of you get a reward, and that reward might be one time they're happy towards you, they're showing you love and affection, and then you get punished for doing something wrong. It's a process of forming bonds through trauma. And I think the best way to think about it is generational curses. And I know sometimes we think that you might be cursed because at TCG something has happened and everything, but that's not the case. I don't actually believe that it's a curse, but it's because that you grew, let's say for example you're a child, you grew up watching your mom and your dad having an abusive relationship. Your dad is always beating your mom. There's something that gives you like a sense of familiarity when it comes to that situation, that now when you get into a new relationship, even though you said you'll never be in a situation where you're going to be beaten up, there's a part of you that is familiar with that situation, that you then go ahead and go after men or get yourself into relationships where you're now getting abused in some way or another, because that's something that you've grown up like experiencing and witnessing, you know?
Yeah.
Or for example, like so many times we see people who are in abusive relationships and we're like, why can't they just leave? Me, if I'm chapwad, I'll just go. But it's not as if the person is just 24/7 beating you all the time and it's just abuse after abuse after abuse. No, that's not the case. Most likely it starts off with love, and then a little bit of abuse happens, and then love is put in there. Then abuse happens, and love. It's like a burn, and then someone just goes and continues rubbing it, and then goes back and burns you again, and you're just left in a merry-go-round of abuse and love and abuse and love. And unfortunately, the way our psychology is put up and everything, we can really form bonds with that. And I think like we can give both scenarios of just times where you felt as if you've had traumatic bonds, not necessarily as dire as abusive relationships, but just like, you know, certain things which are not right, but you see yourself going back over and over again.
Actually, before we go into that, I was wondering, because it sounds very vague. It sounds like any other form of abuse when you're not given like a specific type of traumatic experience or a traumatic bond that could form. And according to this article that I was reading, they say that the person experiencing abuse may develop sympathy for the abuser. So you're developing sympathy for the abuser or the abusive situation, which then becomes reinforced by the cycles of abuse. So yeah, you know, like you've seen in movies where Stockholm Syndrome is one of the most specific ones.
For kidnappers.
For kidnappers. So in a situation where you've been kidnapped by someone, but they're coming, you're sad, or they've at you. They're the ones who hurt you, but then they try and nurse your wound, or they try and tell you a story about them as a younger person, and now you start feeling mercy for them or pity for them or empathizing with them. That's a very common form of traumatic bond, and it's I think the most prevalent one, the one people know a lot about. And so to answer your question, giving scenarios of which people have been
like even you've personally gone through, not necessarily like, I think a lot of us, like maybe I don't know your situation, but like maybe you haven't gone through like the abuse, but there's times where like you do have those like traumatic bonds where a certain thing has happened to you and you find that certain thing recurring over and over again, like that trauma.
Okay. I think for me, I think I would give an example of, again, I will go back to R. Kelly. R. Kelly, he's the biggest one when it comes to an abuser who then people ended up becoming sympathetic about or with. Because in most cases, like he would take girls and he will put them in the houses, and then he would punish them for all the things that they're doing, but at the same time, make them feel like they were vulnerable with him, you know? Oh yeah, my dad also died. Oh yeah, my mom also died, and stuff like that. So oftentimes you will see, like even your neighbors, sometimes you'll see a neighbor who's always like beating on their wife or treating their children very nastily. And then when you start to inquire a little bit more, you start hearing stories like, oh yeah, they came from a very poor background, the father wasn't available, maybe that's why this, that's why that. And then we start going like, okay, maybe that's why. But we are ignoring the fact that the abuse is ongoing simply because this person has gone through whatever issues that they went through with their life, whatever blah, blah, blah sad story that they went through, they are still inflicting pain upon other people and abusing other people. And that continuity then becomes like, then it becomes things like, you know, the what's his name? The guy who I forget the name. And I will remember and I will tell you. Yes.
Well, for me, not personally, but I know people who have gone through trauma and they did not leave their relationship. One is because, like, tuseme usiku, they're like, hey, by the way, me, I'm leaving. I am done with this guy. I'm done. And then hatoki. So asubuhi you're like, okay, how are you doing? And they go like, tuko sawa, you know, sijui nini. So I suspect that at night, probably they got a reward. They were like, you're my wife, you know, tomorrow I'll take you out, I will do this, nini, nini. And then you like forgive them. Forgetting that actually that's mental. It's a mental issue. Yeah, it's manipulation. So for me, I feel like we just need to decide whether we want to live like that or whether we deserve a better and actually leave that relationship that you're in and let them get help, and you also get help, so that if you decide on coming back together after getting help separately, then that's okay. But we should not encourage that.
Yeah, and like if you're looking at like other situations or even looking at your own situation and trying to figure out whether you've had a traumatic bond, here are some of the signs that you may be going through that situation. When the person is always agreeing with the abusive person's reasons for the abuse or the trauma. So you can say, ati oh nilivunja sahani, that's why he beat me. I burnt the food, I deserved it. You are not a child, first of all, okay? You are nobody's child, and there's no reason why you're being punished through beating or abuse or any type of abuse at all because of doing something wrong. Me, I can't understand how like some women or men can sit there and say the reason why he did this is because I'm being punished for doing this. It doesn't make any type of sense.
And also when you try to cover for them, like umechapwa, umefura, guys are like, hey, ni bwanako amekuchapa, you're like, unajua mimi nilimwongelesha vibaya, you know, nilianguka kwa stairs, nikajigonga. Why are you doing that? How are you helping your partner? You're not helping your partner. So I feel like if you find yourself in that situation where unawatetea, then just know you're going through trauma and you need help.
Another very common one is distancing yourself from people who are trying to help you. Like, you know, people around you, your neighbors, your friends, they will know when something is happening. So when you start telling them the story at first, and then you keep going back and they're like, bruh, what's going on here? Like, what is the story? And then every time you have to explain, now you've defended them, it's gotten to a point where now it's becoming very uncomfortable for you. So you start staying away from these people. You know, you're distancing yourself from the people who understand your story or who know your story, and now keeping the relationship even more private, so it becomes harder for people to help you in general. That's one of the signs. You're always trying to stay away from people who know the story.
Exactly. And even now, while you start to stay away from them, you feel really defensive about it. You know, most of the times, especially when you're not ready to leave an abusive relationship or abusive situation, you might feel the need now to defend your partner, especially if you're still loving, you still love them. There's a lot of emotional like manipulation and everything involved. So yes, he's beating you, and yes, we are saying that you leave him, but you also feel sorry for him, like you had said originally. So now you're there defending him in front of all of your people. They're there saying that you leave him, leave him, leave him. And you now feel the need to defend him even more because the world seems against him, which now adds on to you trying to be the savior and the hero and everything, you know? So if you feel as if like now people are saying that you need to leave him, but you know his story, you know his heart, you know there's only a problem that he's going through. That's the reason why sometimes he gets really upset and he can't hold his anger in. Now all of these people are the ones who are adding to the pain and everything. If they could just leave you alone, everything would be okay. You find yourself now going against people who love you most, and then now you're only stuck with you and your abuser.
Yeah, you know you're going through trauma when you try and act like everything is okay when the abuser is present. Like you've told us your friends that what you're going through, but when he comes into the room, you're like, hi, that's my boyfriend, you know, like everything is fine, I'm okay. Girl, talk up. You need help.
Even man them, leave that premises. Another major sign is the majority of the time you have the desire for love and affection. So oftentimes, because of the fact that you have this huge desire to just, it's like a gap in your, it's a hole in your heart that you want someone to fill, you will go for all those two more cells of love that you're being given. You know, he beats you and then he comes and gets you flowers. We've all seen the video that circulated about that girl who used to be beaten, and then the next day he brought me flowers. She gets beaten again, the next day brings her flowers, and then eventually it became a thing of now she's dead, he's bringing flowers to her grave. So is that really the eventuality that you want? No. So oftentimes, even if you need love, there is the correct kind of love, and you can get love from everywhere. Church, parental love. Your friends can give you so much love. It's not all these friends that are taking videos of you and sending them online. No. Some people actually have decent, good friends. So these are the kinds of people and places you need to find love. And don't forget, the most important one is finding love within yourself. Because once you love you from in there, trust me, you are unshakable.
Yes, and some of the ways you can really try to break the trauma and break the trauma bonding is by getting yourself away from the abuser. And that sounds a lot easier said than done, and especially from the outside looking in, because once you're in an abusive relationship, that bond is so serious and the psychological trauma is so serious that it's not easy to get out of that situation. But I think once you've reached the point where you can even at least talk about it to somebody else, I think that's already the first step. You've talked about it to your friends and family and everything, and honestly, that's why now the people around you, if someone has told you about a situation which they're in, an abusive situation which they're in, it is up to you to constantly be pushing, leave, because they're not going to be able to do it on their own. So once they have that and the constant reassuring them, you need to leave, you can do this, you can do that, you don't need this person, I think that's where they can after a while, be able to get the strength to move from that situation.
Absolutely. Another thing that we tend to do a lot when we're in abusive situations is we tend to blame ourselves for the situation. Like Ayuma has said, oh, he beat me because I broke a cup, his favorite cup or whatever. Or she beat me because I refused to give her money. Like, again, let's not forget, abusers come from both genders. So another problem is that you need to now replace that with a lot of, that self-criticism of, oh, I'm not good enough. Even if I leave, I'll never find anyone else. Start replacing that with positive affirmations within yourself, Like if it has to come to it, you need to get to that point where you're following people who are always posting affirmations. You know who I'm talking about. If that is what it needs to come to, then you need to start doing that. Positively talking to yourself all the time. Like, you know what? I am strong. I am beautiful. I am deserving of love. I am deserving of affection. I am deserving of the right kind of partner. I am deserving. I am deserving. I am deserving. And over time, as you tell yourself these things over and over again, eventually you actually start becoming that person who is now seeking out that, because that is your deep desire, to find love, to find people who appreciate you. You'll find yourself seeking and gravitating towards these people, and boom, shakalaka, you've left your traumatic bond.
Yes, and I believe that you need to talk to your loved ones about it, because they need to understand what you're going through, so that when you finally leave that relationship, they understand where you're coming from. But if you keep it to yourself, it's going to affect you more, and you'll find yourself wanting to commit suicide, which is not worth it. So you need to share. A problem shared is half solved. So share with your loved ones. They might be able to help you and give you the emotional support that you need.
Yes, and most importantly, professional help, professional help, professional help. We are not doctors. We are not therapists. We're only going from our intuition, but the best help that you can get is going to a professional who can really help you dissect the issues, find out why you're even drawn to this person in the first place and how you can leave. And I think, once again, like I say, family and friends, if you know somebody that's going through this situation, they cannot do it on their own. The fact that they've already let you know about the situation, or you have observed the abuse yourself, it is up to you to make sure that they get the professional help that they need. Or even you can do your research. You become the therapist yourself. If they're not willing to go and do that research and go to the therapist, you can be the one to do it for them, because if you truly love and support them, and then now go back with the new information that you have. I hope you guys have really taken a lot from this. Trauma bonds are serious, and it's something that can really be stopped if we actually take the time and effort to really go ahead and dissect the issues and find out what's going on with our friends and family and our loved ones, and get them out of this horrible situation. Unfortunately, there's about that time where we have to say goodbye. I don't know where the time has gone. I see your messages over here on our WhatsApp number. Continue sending them in and continue showing us your love and support on Ebru Let's Talk _official on our Instagram. But for now, it's your girl Ayuma Kaguli on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
They've decided it's Lily Asigo. Anyway,
okay.
My name is Kathomi, and my leaving note is this. Listen, for all these people who are bullying others and sending, hateful messages that cause trauma for other people, need to remember this. Unfortunately, bullies, the way you go to a park or a place with a lot of dogs with your dog, and then they all just start to go, all the dogs are barking at each other. That is what exactly happens when that is happening. You're a bully, and when you go to places where you find a lot more encouragement, like Twitter and all these other funny social media sites where you see trending topics which are so negative and so hurtful to the person who is being implicated in the crime or the problem for that day, then it becomes it's just feeding your negativity, and that's not what we want. So let's please be kind to one another. Let's stop bullying other people. Surely it's so painful. It's so painful. Let's just stop it. It's not funny. My name is Kathomi Kathomi. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, but mostly on Instagram.
We should stop putting people down and let's be good friends, not friends who take things secretly so that they can benefit in future. I don't know how they're benefiting, but let's just be kind to one another. Thank you for watching. My name is Lily Asigo at Lily Asigo on Instagram and Facebook.